Hello friends, myself Professor Rajendra Baburao Gharse, working as head in department at NB Navle Sinhagad College of Engineering, Solapur. I am having teaching experience of 9 years. I have completed BE Electrical from Government College of Engineering Karad and MTech from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. I have qualified GATE examination 6 times, and in the achievements I have secured the All India 7th rank with a 99.96 percentile in GATE 2008 examination. In my last video we have discussed about numericals based on Y parameters, right? Today we are going to discuss about ABCD parameters, or it is also known as transmission line parameters, right? As we know, two-port network is a network which is having two ports. One is the input port, second one is the output port, right? So ABCD parameters, or it is also known as a transmission line parameters. It is known as a transmission line parameters because this type of networks generally used in electrical power system to analyze the medium or the long transmission lines. Okay, so here we are having a two port network. The input port variables are V1, I1, and the output port variables are V2 and I2. Okay, so ABCD, as we have discussed the Z and Y parameters. Z parameters gives the expression for port voltages in terms of the port currents, and Y parameters gives the expression for port currents in terms of port voltages, right? Now ABCD parameters gives the expression for input port variables in terms of output port variables, that is V1 I1 in terms of V2 and minus I2. Okay, the characteristic equation of ABCD parameters are V1 is equal to A V2 minus B I2, I1 is equal to C V2 minus D I2, right? So we need to remember these two expressions. These are known as a characteristic equations of ABCD parameters, right? So here be careful. Here we are having A V2 minus B I2 and C V2 minus D I2. Okay, now in order to find A and C parameters, right, if we make the I2 is equal to 0, right, I2 is equal to 0. I2 0 means output port is open circuited, right? So if output port is open circuited, then I2 is equal to 0. So from 1 can we write V1 is equal to A V2, right? So therefore A is equal to V1 by V2. So input port voltage divided by output port voltage, provided that output port is open circuited, is nothing but the parameter A. So parameter A is a ratio of two voltages, right? So it is a voltage volt upon volt. So it gets cancelled, so that's why the parameter A is a unitless parameter. Okay, next, from if I2 is equal to 0, from second equation can we write I1 is equal to C into V2 if I2 is equal to 0, right? So I1 is equal to C into V2. So therefore what is C? C is equal to I1 by V2, provided that I2 is equal to 0, right? So parameter C is equal to input port current divided by output port voltage. So it is a ratio of current to voltage, right? So that's why the unit is, it is like a admittance, so unit is mho. So unit of parameter C is mho. Unit of parameter C is mho. Next, in order to find the parameters B and D, right, if we keep V2 is equal to 0, V2 is equal to 0 means output port short circuited, right? So if output port is short circuited, that is V2 is equal to 0. V2 is equal to 0. So from that V1 is equal to minus B I2. So therefore B is equal to minus V1 by I2. Okay, provided that V2 is equal to 0. So parameter B is the ratio of input port voltage to the output port current. So it is a ratio of voltage to current. So the unit will be, it is like a impedance, so unit is ohm, right? So unit is a ohm. Next, from second equation, if V2 is equal to 0, we can write I1 is equal to minus di2. So therefore D is equal to minus I1 by I2. Again it is a ratio of 2 current, so it is ampere upon ampere, it will get cancelled. So parameter D is a unitless parameter, right? So please be careful, unlike the Z and Y parameters, right? Because in the case of Z parameter, the unit of all the Z parameters, yes, it was a ohm, and in the case of Y parameters, the unit of all the Y parameters, it was a mho, right? Because it was to voltage. But in the ABCD parameters, we are having a different things, right? Parameter A is a unitless, parameter B the unit is ohm, parameter C unit is mho, and parameter D is also unitless, right? In most of the exams, they have asked the MCQs, the unit of parameter A is, right? And they will give the options like it is unitless, ohm, mho, Siemens, etc., right? So we need to understand it. Okay, so here we are having the summary table. Unit of parameter A, it is a unitless, parameter B ohm, parameter C mho, and parameter D, it is also unitless, right? Now, so as long as the any parameter is considered, right, any parameter is considered, the important thing is we need to memorize the characteristic equations, right? So if you check the characteristic equation of the ABCD parameters, right, it gives the expression for V1 in terms of V2 and minus I2, as well as I1 in terms of V2 and minus I2. So simply need to form the equations for V1 and I1 in terms of V2 and minus I2 in order to find the ABCD parameters, right? So let us discuss one simple example. Find ABCD parameters of the given two-port network. Okay, so same way we can simplify it with the help of Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay, so we are having a T network. Our task is to find the ABCD parameters, means we need to form the equations of V1 and I1 in terms of V2 and minus I2. Okay, so here V1, consider the loop currents I1 and I2, loop current I1, loop current. Now can we apply KVL to the loop 1? Yes, it is plus V1 minus 1 into I1 minus 3 into I1 plus I2 is equal to 0, right? So therefore V1 is equal to 4I1 plus 3I2, right? This is the expression for V1 in terms of I1 I2, but we require the expression for V1 in terms of V2 and minus I2, means we need to replace this I1. Okay, next can we apply KVL to the second loop? Yes, it is plus V2 minus 2I2 minus 3 into I1 plus I2 is equal to 0, right? So therefore we can write it as V2 minus 5I2 minus 3I1 is equal to 0. So from this, can we write the expression for I1 in terms of V2 and I2? Yes, so take this I1 this at right hand side, so we can write, and after rearranging the terms, we can write I1 is equal to 1 by 3 V2 minus 5 by 3 I2. It is like I1 is equal to CV2 minus DI2. So it is a 1 by 3 is a parameter C and 5 by 3 is a parameter D, right? Now can we put this equation 2, sorry, this should be equation 2, I'm sorry, here it should be equation 2, right? So can we put equation 2 in 1? Yes, so whatever the equation here, in equation 1 we are having a I1 here, right? We need to replace this I1 with the equation 2, right? So we can write V1 is equal to 4 into V1 is equal to 4 into, yes, this is I1, so we have replaced, we have put this I1 in 4 into I1, that is equation 1 plus 3I2, right? And after that multiplication and rearranging the terms, yes, we can write V1 is equal to 4 by 3 V2 minus 11 by 3 I2. So it is like V1 is equal to A V2 minus B I2. So what is the A? It is a 4 by 3. What is B? It is a 11 by 3 ohm. Unit of B is ohm, unit of C is mho, right? So compare equation 3 and 2. Compare equation 3 and 2 with characteristic equations of transmission parameters. So compare equation with V1 is equal to A V2 minus B I2 and I1 is equal to C V2 minus D I2, right? So this is the one simple example for how to find the ABCD parameters of the given two-port network, right? So in my next video we will discuss some university exam questions based on ABCD parameter, calculation of ABCD parameters. Thank you. Thanks for watching.